Greetings. I don't know if this is working yet. Oh, here it is. Everything froze on me just then. Greetings, it's Vanessa-Mary. I am trying something different today, so I think that's why the screen froze on me. But welcome. This is Family Heritage. It's my new weekly show. Just bear with me because I am trying something different today. So while people, is this it? No, it hasn't quite worked. Okay, let me do the introduction and then I'll go back to that. I am my own producer here, so I'm doing everything. All right, okay. So this is Family Heritage. It's a weekly show where I'm exploring the stories, values, and experiences that shape our families, our businesses, and the legacy that we leave behind. My name's Vanessa-Mary. I'm a wellbeing healer based in Nottingham. And each week I'm going to reflect on family, leadership, well-being, and the lessons that we're passing on from one generation to the next. Thank you so much for tuning in if you are watching the live. And if you are watching the replay, thank you as well for watching the replay. Today's episode is called Building a Legacy That Lasts. So just bear with me half a second because I'm trying something new, i.e. I know that the live stream goes over to my main page on Facebook. I haven't been appearing on Facebook very often, but I've just, I think, shared it to my main wall. So now let me see if it went over to my main wall. It would be good to start sharing some posts over on my main wall again. It hasn't done it, or has it? No. Okay, so let me do that. So apologies if you're watching the replay. You can always fast forward if you don't want to hear this kind of technical bit, but I do feel that when you are doing something like this, it's really important. Here it is. No, is that the right place? Oh my gosh, I just feel like I'm going to mess it up now. I'm so out of tune with Facebook. I don't know how to share. More options. Maybe you can't share it like that. I don't know. Share to a group. Let me share it quickly to my group in Facebook. So if you are watching this on Facebook and you're catching the live, please leave me a quick comment so that I can see that my little methodology has worked today. But let me get on with it because I know for you tuning in on other places, thank you so much for following this series. So like I said, it is about building a legacy that lasts. And over the past few weeks, we've been exploring different aspects of family heritage. So we've looked at foundations, we've looked at ambition or aspiration, we looked at mentoring, we looked at investment last week, and today the L, because this is according to my family principle, is about legacy. So we're talking about building a legacy that actually lasts. So I would really like us to think about, so if you are watching this live, please let me know in the comments, what are you currently creating that is supporting you to leave a legacy? Okay, so let me know in the comments, what is it that you're presently working on? What are you creating that's helping you to leave a legacy? All right, so the first part of this conversation is about grandmother's wisdom. So if you have been tuning in to this weekly show, so I'm coming on Sundays, streaming across 3 platforms. If you are tuning in to this family heritage show that I'm doing, then I would love for you to let me know what you're thinking about the show. I'm on episode 5, and you should be aware of grandmother's wisdom by now. So I've got some of you tuning in on the live. Welcome. Please do let me know where you're tuning in from. If you are leaving something nice, a nice comment, I will share it on the screen. It's Sunday, so let's send out positive vibrations. Let's help to raise the energy and the frequency. So send out love and light if you are watching here on the live. But yes, I'm talking about grandmother's wisdom. And today we go back to my grandmother Sue, who was my mum's mum. Now, Grandmother Sue, we're talking about legacy if you are just tuning in. Grandmother Sue, she was a very successful businesswoman. And I've actually done some talks on how she's influenced me in business. So the lesson that I want to pass on from Grandmother Sue this week is about how we are working. Now, my grandmother was a very hard worker. She had a part-time job in a factory, but she was very financially successful. So I just want you to kind of sit with that, because what did she do? In her spare time, she worked her business. And this is taking me back to Jim Rowan, who talked to us about how I can never say this, our full-time income will help us to like pay the bills. It will help us with our life, but our part-time income can help us to leave a fortune. And that's what my grandmother Sue was able to do, working part-time in the family business, which was in the motor trade, selling cars, and also renting out property with her husband. Now, my grandmother was a very hard worker. So I want to build on her lesson, because I do believe, yes, you do need to work hard if you want to achieve something, but I do think that we need to work smart. And I really want to encourage you to work from a space of ease and flow. If you're not familiar with how you actually get into the vibration of flow, then you can always send me a message, and I'm happy to have a quick chat with you and pass on any wisdom that may be helpful for you. So that's grandmother's wisdom. So looking back, I do accept that one decision that was made many years ago has led to where I am. Now, I have worked hard during that, but at the same time, I am stepping into the energy, the higher frequency, where it's about working with my divine essence, okay, so that I'm actually in the energy of ease and flow. All right, so let me know what you're working on. One of the things that I've been working on at the beginning of this year, so if you're new to my work and you're not familiar with the first edition, the first issue of Legacy Ledger that was produced and is now in circulation digitally and in the hard copy. This was produced at the beginning of the year. So thank you to all of the contributors that got behind me, and we worked together in that energy of ease and flow to produce the first issue. So this is a lifestyle magazine aimed at the business community, but we talk about business, we talk about leadership, legacy, well-being, and we also talk about innovation in there as well, and future leaders. So if you are a business owner and you feel like you've got a story that you want to share with the wider community to support the visibility of what you're doing, and you want the world to know that you are here, please do get in contact with me about the next issue. Now, let's move on to how are we building a legacy that lasts. So this was something that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to produce a magazine. I actually did produce a magazine, but it didn't really quite hit the spot of what I had in my vision. I do believe that what we've produced here in Legacy Ledger is more in alignment with my vision. And obviously, I'm really enjoying that work. And going back to what I've just said about ease and flow, how you're feeling about what you do is really important as well. If you're doing something and you are actually sitting in a lower vibrational frequency, which is maybe bringing up some negative energy, then you're not working in that energy of ease and flow. All right. So we're going to talk about how are we creating a legacy that actually is going to leave an impact. So you can create a legacy right now. You don't, when I'm talking about a legacy, I don't necessarily mean like when you have passed away. Okay. I spoke in other episodes about, I know men and women who I would describe as living legacies because they've created so much positive impact in this world that actually they're still alive, but they're still able to contribute and leave a lasting impact that will surpass their lifetime. Now, how do you do that? For me, I do believe in being kind. So showing up, being kind, spreading that positive energy of love and light, kindness, encouragement, supporting others. I do feel that if you actually operate from that frequency, then actually the ripple effect that you will have, not only in your own family, but towards others will actually make a massive difference and you will be remembered for that. So that's about the values that you live by. So there are some other values which I'm not going to go into right now, but you can think about your personal values. And again, if you're watching the live or if you are watching the replay, please do share what are the values that you live by, that you are passing on in your family, that you're actually confident that that will support the next generation for your own family. Because this is about giving encouragement. So, legacy, what does that mean to you? Okay, giving encouragement, like I've just said, and also creating opportunities for others. I had a wonderful experience yesterday in an area called Melbourne, which is in Derbyshire. I'd never been there at all, but it was so wonderful to be there. I'm going to shout out to Beverly Sankey again and her daughter and her amazing grandson. And, you know, it was so lovely to spend time with Beverly and her family to hear about her aspirations for the future, which will have a positive impact on the men and the women that she's serving as a well-being coach and mentor. And even today we've exchanged some words and we're already, you know, exploring how we can work together. And the idea that we've got in mind, you know, it's exciting and it will create opportunities for others. So, you know, this is the type of thing that I'm actually speaking about because it is about how you make others feel. So are you touching someone's life enough that they're remembering you, you know, that kind word that you said to them, the kind gesture, the support that you've given them? How are you making other people feel? Remember, there is the saying that says we don't necessarily remember the words that people have said to us, but it's how you've made someone feel. So please do share that with us. And if you are a business owner, let us know how your business is contributing to the positive energy that this world needs right now. How is your business going to uplift the world and leave a positive legacy, which will actually surpass your lifetime? Please let us know. But we're also thinking about in this legacy building the habits that we, you know, the man or the woman that you need to become to be able to leave a legacy. For me, it is all about creating positive habits. So even me showing up, doing this show, you know, hardly anybody's watching it right now. It doesn't matter because I'm thinking into the future with this show, okay? And I'm doing this show for my family. I've said this right at the beginning in episode 1, and I replayed episode 1 with my daughter this week, and I was saying some things in that episode about our family and about great men and women in our family that have made a positive contribution that my daughter wasn't even aware of. So this is the thing. What are you creating? What are the habits that you are creating? How are you showing up for yourself, but also for your loved ones when nobody else is bothered or even looking? What are you doing? What are the values that you are modeling from others? It was quite interesting that last night I was thinking about the time when I was actively doing my martial arts. Now, I'm not actively doing martial arts, and I'm not going to say it's gone and it's forgotten. And I'm going to shout out my instructor, Nicole, in Nottingham at the Phoenix Kickboxing Centre, because that was like the best time of my life, really learning that discipline. If you know me, I do have a hip condition, which I do need to actually get my body moving, get my mobility where it needs to be. I'm not going to let my hip condition slow me down and stop me. But the values that I learned from martial arts taught me so much. And those values have stayed with me. And those values I've brought into my business in other aspects of my life. What conversations are you having that are actually supporting you today to build a legacy for tomorrow? Now, obviously, you don't need to go into the details of the conversations, but I just want you to maybe stop and pause and really feel into this question. Are the conversations that you're having leading you closer to the vision that you have in your mind about leaving a positive contribution in this world? And what will others remember you for? So how will you be remembered? How will they remember the life that you lived? Okay. Earlier on this week, I'm not going to go into the details of this particular passing, but I overheard she was not a party organizer, but she dresses tables and chairs. And this woman told me how she's been very busy. And one of the funerals that she assisted with was very, very well attended in Nottingham. Now, there was a little bit of tragedy around that particular story. I'm not going to go into it because I am from Nottingham, and anybody listening to this from Nottingham may know about this particular passing, and I don't want to trigger anybody's emotions because it does sound that it's been quite tragic. But why I'm mentioning it is because, for someone to actually attract such a large number to come and show their mourning, be in mourning and show their appreciation for their life means that this particular individual has made a positive impact on others. So I just want you to think about that. Let me celebrate you in your life right now. Why am I remembering you? Why am I celebrating you? But also, when your time comes and you are no longer here, how will you be remembered? So, in closing, I really want to talk about the fact that we don't need to try and change the whole world, okay? Let's maybe change the part of the world that you are living in. What difference can you make at your street level, okay? We speak about the family all the time. This show is called Family Heritage. What difference can you make at your street level? What difference can you make in your local community? I've actually been reconsidering some ideas and really thinking about the local area that I live, and I will be talking about that later on in the year. But this has been really important to me because the area that I live in, I have lived here for many, many years now. So what is the impact that you are making? How will your future self make a positive impact that starts to create that ripple effect of legacy at the local level where you live. So these conversations, if you've been tuning in to Family Heritage and these conversations are resonating with you, I would love to stay connected with you. If you are watching from a particular platform that maybe you are not following me on and you would like to follow my content, please do hit the subscribe button. If this message has resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up, show me some love, because when you do, it supports me to keep going with this message. Thank you. I'll be back next week for another episode of Family Heritage. And what will we be talking about? Well, we get to the why in our family principle, and that why is about you. So I'm going to be sharing how you are the most important element of your story, your legacy story. You are the most important element of that. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you've watched the live or you are watching the replay, thank you for giving me your support and time today. Let me know you were here. And like I said, I'll be back next week with episode 6, which is the most important soul in the story, which is you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.